We start, I want to kindly thank Sensum Communum and Dawn Browning for kindly buying me a cuppa over the last few videos. It's always appreciated. Now everyone knows that the eastern region is the best, despite Yorkshire and Scotland always complaining and comparing themselves to each other. They've got nothing on us, specifically Norfolk. We don't have silly hills that make it awkward to walk anywhere, especially if you're fat. That's why they come on holiday here. But today we're going to focus on not only Norfolk but Norfolk's legends, and there are quite a few of them. Strap in. This is All Saints Church in Swanton Morley. Apparently Satan can be summoned here if you run around the church at midnight and then whistle through the keyhole. And when you do, that's when Satan appears. Another variation involves whistling through the grille that looks into a crypt under the chancel. Again, not until you've circled the church at the witching hour. Give it a try and let me know how you get on. Although if you let me know how you get on, it seems that you probably failed and it's a lie. This is St George's Church in Rollersby near Great Yarmouth. Again, another running around the churchyard 3 times legend, because when you do that and then shout Queen Bloody Mary, the face of Mary Tudor would appear at the nearest window. Give it a try and see if it works. Apparently people still do try this, but they're on drugs. Ah, Great Yarmouth. Now in South Lopham there is a legend which might come in useful in these coming months. Apparently there is a fairy cow who magically appeared during times of great hardship and then disappeared when things improved. Said to appear when drought threatened the well-being of villagers, she offered her milk freely to all those who needed it. And then the magical beast would stamp down on a slab of sandstone, which is still there, burning an imprint of her hoof into it, and then vanished. Hopefully she reappears soon. There was once a king called King Gurgen, who was so fond of Norwich that he built the castle and established a city around it when he knew he was about to die. Clearly he'd never been down Prince of Wales Road. Now one of the largest man-made structures in Britain, and alongside his silver, gold, jewels and treasures, he fell into an eternal sleep underneath the castle. It is rumoured though that like King Arthur, he's ready to rise from his slumber in order to save Britain if she was in peril. He needs to hurry up and wake up now. In 1642 in Southbury, there was a thunderstorm which led to the discovery of a hole in the village filled with fire and a large mysterious stone. The boulder earned a reputation for having magical powers. Locals, probably men, said that if a woman with joint problems shed their clothes and sat on it naked at midnight, they would be cured. I wonder if that worked. Farmers said the stone would sweat if it was about to rain. Villagers spat on the stone for good luck, and a virile 80-year-old credited the stone for his ability to still be able to father children. Apparently he drank the dew from the stone every morning. That could just be saliva. How unfortunately though, the stone is no longer in action. But if a hole ever opens up near you, get the women to take their clothes off, it might help their joint pain. Now if you're hanging around the fens at night time, beware of the glowing ghost lights of Norfolk's lantern men, because they will lure you to your death. They're said to be evil spirits that try to draw victims to their death in reed beds and mud. They are drawn to people who whistle, and the only way to escape them is to lie face down with your mouth in the mud. The lesson here is, whistling is fucking irritating, so don't do it because the lantern men will get you for it, and you deserve it. This is Griston Hall near Wayland Woods. Back in the 1500s, the owner, Edmund de Grey, had a grandson, Thomas, whose father died when he was 7 years old. The little boy's uncle was Robert de Grey, who stood to inherit the hall and the land it stood in, if young Thomas died before he married and had a family of his own. When young Thomas went missing at the age of 11, and Robert claimed that de Grey wealth as his own, there were understandably some rumours. With the shadowy wood so close to Griston and the murky dealings of Robert de Grey creating a storm of suspicion, a story was spun in which Thomas had been murdered by Robert and his body hidden in the darkest recesses of the forest, which is now next to a prison. This tale, is it true or not, was adapted and became Babes in the Wood. This is St Peter and St Paul's Church in Tunstall, which burned down, but next to it is a boggy pool of water known as Hellhole, which bubbles in the summertime. Could be something to do with the heat. The bubbles are, though, said to be the sinking church bells, as they are taken to hell by the devil, who snatched them in front of the parsons and the church wardens, who were arguing about who should have them after the church burned down. Apparently, on quiet nights you can still hear the sounds of the bells underneath the water. Go down there and let me know. This is the Stockton Stone, a sandstone glacial megalith which stands between Beccles and Norwich. Now, unfortunately, if you try and move it, you'll die. The stone was moved in the 1930s during work to straighten the main road. It was moved diagonally eastwards by around 14 feet, and the disturbance was regarded locally with some misgiving. Following the work, one of the workmen involved collapsed and died. So yeah, don't touch it. Now, like every other county in England, there is the phantom dog, and we have Black Shuck, the devil dog that haunts the east of England, and in particular the country's coastal roads, crossroads and marshes. A large black dog, he has been seen with a head, without a head, with one eye or two, floating on a carpet of mist, or just keeping up with the people he's about to kill. It is said that if you look into his eyes, your death or death of someone in your household will occur by the end of the year. So if you do see him, make sure it's at 5 to 12 on midnight of New Year's Eve, so you haven't got time to die. There are plenty more folklore stories from this part of the country, but you can look them up yourselves and then read them to your kids, because these things have to be kept alive. Now, it's more than likely that all of the stories are absolute nonsense. It's just Chinese whispers, where something really innocuous happened, but by the time it reached now, it's almost fantastical. But still, that's part of the fun of folklore tales. Or maybe they are true, we'll never know. Until next time, ta-ta for now.
Black Shark!